Mark, it was 50 years ago today, one of the most tragic moments in Los Angeles history played out, and questions remain. Was there a second gunman in Robert Kennedy's assassination? In this Eyewitness News exclusive, I go inside the evidence files, and I see images that haven't been in public for decades. A half a century ago, at the Ambassador Hotel, an elated crowd can be heard chanting.
Thank you very much.
They want Robert Kennedy. The senator just won the biggest primary of them all, California.
Express my appreciation to Paul Schrade.
His supporters were electric. Perhaps they were looking at the next president of the United States.
My thanks to all of you, and now it's on to Chicago, and let's win there. Thank you very much.
After the speech at ABC's election headquarters, they think they're signing off for the night.
This is Howard K. Smith at ABC's election headquarters.
But then,
ladies and gentlemen, we've kept the air on because we've heard an alarming report that Robert Kennedy was shot.
Back at the Ambassador, this was a scene only seconds after Kennedy left the stage. 50 years later, I get an exclusive look inside the evidence, the once secret photos that tell the story. From bullet holes to Kennedy's bloody clothes, right down to the tie he was wearing. Each image a piece of a tragic puzzle, revealing what happened.
From the UAW, who worked so hard. And
remember Paul Schrade, whom Kennedy thanked that night? He not only was with Kennedy that tragic moment, he was one of the 5 other people also wounded. Schrade took a bullet to the head and lived. He's now 93 years old.
I got off the platform and went into the pantry area. He showed up all alone.
In fact, you could hear the moment Kennedy was separated from his protection.
Senator, this way. This way.
In the scrum of people, a voice redirects the senator, leading him to the kitchen.
No, Rosie, no.
Rosie Greer and crew were held up in the masses.
Did not have his bodyguards with him, Rosie Greer and Rayford Johnson and Bill Barry and Ethel, his wife. They were slowed down in getting to the pantry area.
The excited kitchen crew began congratulating him, including waiter Martin Petruski.
I had just finished shaking hands with him, and he was walking by, and all of a sudden, this it wasn't too tall fella jumped out, and he started a fire. This thing is.
See the gun?
Yes, I think it was a .22.
In the evidence file, I found this. I think this is a very telling photo. These are investigators reenacting the moment the shooting took place. Here's the gunman right here. This is Kennedy, and you see how close the gunman was to Kennedy.
Oh, my God. Senator Kennedy has been shot.
An ABC News reporter was there, live.
I am right here. Rayford Johnson has a hold of a man who apparently has fired the shot. That's it, Rayford. Get it. Get the gun, Rayford.
Superstar Rayford Johnson helps investigators reenact the scene, right down to the grabbing of the gun. It was a .22. It carried 8 rounds, all of them spent. The gunman, Sirhan Sirhan. Here's what he looked like that day. A slightly built, unassuming Palestinian who worked at Santa Anita Racetrack. The legendary John Sheard, who is now 97 and still works there, was his boss.
I liked him personally. Although, you know, he had a mother and a brother. That's all lived in Pasadena. And he was very quiet, very, very humble, very subservient. He never struck me as a man that would kill somebody.
Shear said Sirhan worked hard, was kind, but recalls one damning moment in the office when a newspaper headline said Bobby Kennedy gives arms to Israel.
He burst out in a temper. He said, "That man is killing my people." He said he should be dead. That's what he said. And he should be dead.
Some believe Sirhan wasn't alone. Schrade is one of them.
The evidence now is so strong that we can say that Sirhan couldn't and didn't shoot Robert Kennedy.
But investigators and the DA's office for decades have stood firm. It was one man, Sirhan Sirhan.
Did you see one man with a gun?
Yes.
Did you see any other men?
No.
From this to this.
Senator Robert Francis Kennedy died at 1:44 a.m. today, June 6, 1968.
One of the most incredible and tragic moments in Los Angeles history 50 years ago. It is widely believed that Kennedy was on his way to the Democratic nomination. Had the assassination not happened, it's possible Kennedy and not Nixon would have become president, dramatically changing the course of history. In the meantime, 2 of Bobby Kennedy's 11 children believe that their father's murder case should be reopened.
Hello, I'm Mark Brown. Click the ABC7 logo to subscribe to our Eyewitness News YouTube channel.